Hi, I'm Len.
I'm Joan, of course. We've been volunteers here now at the Rose Garden for 15 years. We answered a call in the local paper at the time that people were needed to help trim the roses, and we thought that sounded like a nice, easy job to do, and never realising that we'd be doing it every week and sometimes weekends. It's become a friendship group as well, with an enormous knowledge of roses, of course. It's to work with them is to learn so much about them. The Rose Garden was opened in 1986 with the original part at that time just being the Tudor rose area of Floribunda and hybrid tea roses. There's 3,700 odd, I think, at the time. There were plans at the time for the rest of the garden, which was to include heritage roses, Australian bred roses, and a trial garden as well was included. But it turned out that it was such high maintenance that it was never going to happen. We would never have it completed. With this end in view, the chap that started the garden, Jim Priestley, he approached the local newspapers and for volunteers to come and help with the garden, with the view that if we could do that, he might be able to complete the garden eventually. And, with the success of the supporters group, this is indeed did happen. The volunteer group that we began, that started at that time, was going to be such an enormous success.
It's gone from 14 members originally when we started in 93,
yeah.
And now it's something we maintain a group of 100 plus, probably 130
yes.
plus. A few go and a few come, of course.
After we actually got a grant from the centenary of Federation in the year 2000 to extend the garden. That made it possible, and the fence was removed. It had fenced it off, and it was a huge thrill to be able to complete the garden. In fact, the chap Jim Priestley, who started the garden, didn't live to see it finished, but he did see it begun, and it made his day completely. Soon after that, we applied for and received an award for excellence from the International World Federation of Rose Societies, which was a crowning glory really to receive that accolade from them, because they're not given lightly, and we were the first garden in the Southern Hemisphere to receive such an award. Later on, I think Japan and a few other places have received them, but we're the only one in Australia at this stage that has that. It was extended. First of all, we put the heritage border in, and then we added the Australian leaf section, a section of David Austin roses as well, and there are now over 5,000 roses, 600 varieties. Very hard to have a favourite. The favourite is the one you're standing in front of.
I started off having a favourite, then I had a second favourite. It just goes on,
Even a favourite colour. It's difficult to have a favourite colour. And varieties, I like single ones very much, as well as double ones and all sorts. But they give such of a return for your time invested in them, roses. You get up to 9 months a year blooms for most of them, and you can't say that about most other plants.